I'm drinking Nuit Saint-Georges 2015. It's very fruity and full-bodied, with a beautiful feel on the palate. It's still young and evolving. It's going to be tasted all over the world, so it's really France's ambassador.
It's impossible to make great wine without knowing what was done in the vineyard.
Yes, it's a team effort. The human factor is important.
You can eat something very simple with a great Burgundy. You can eat a lovely terrine or pâté with a glass of Burgundy as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
Registered as a World Heritage Site, the so-called Gold Coast stretches across 50 kilometers of Burgundy vineyards. Laurent and Philippe are continuing an ancient tradition of winemaking.
The Cistercian monks began growing wine here centuries ago. Using empirical methods, they experimented with each small area to see which plots gave the best results. That gives you an idea of the colossal amount of work they did to produce these vineyards.
Carved up into hundreds of parcels of land, the Gold Coast has given rise to some world-famous grape varieties.
Pinot Noir is really the grape which best reveals the soil's characteristics, because Pinot Noir has no primary or intrinsic aromas. If you plant Pinot Noir in the field, it won't give any particular scent. But as soon as you put it in soils such as ours, which will vary, well, one is able to sublimate and refine the effects of the soil through fermentation, giving it its local, quintessential character.
Each parcel of land, with its own nutrients and minerals, evolves as it's worked by the grower and winemaker.
Our terroir is both geology and soil science. It consists both of work in the vineyard and in the cellar, and it's climatology. All of this together will ensure that the wine will vary each year depending on the winemaker or the estate, even if it's in the same soil.
The terroir has a kind of character that's revealed by fermentation and by different winemakers, who bring to life its various characteristics. It's a bit like a musician. He'll play the right notes, but we'll recognize a certain wine or piece of music from his personal touch.
Philippe Paquelet defines himself as a wine artisan and collector. He develops the terroir in his wine with a passion, from the soil to his cellar.
On the Gold Coast, the parcels of land are relatively small, about 7,000 hectares each. A large French vineyard, like one in Bordeaux, is 100,000 hectares. These wines are harder to find. You have to go out and look for them, because they're rare.
Like a geographer in familiar territory, Philippe has a mental map of Burgundy wines, from village appellations to the Grand Cru.
We have Côte d'Or, where there are mainly white wines made with Chardonnay. And reds like Côte de Nuit are made with Pinot Noir, with Nuit Saint-Georges and the famous wines of the Romani-Conti domain. Then you have Moret Saint-Denis, and finally Gevrey Chambertin. All of them are beautiful local wines, and they're well known, with a very good reputation.
Philippe makes wine with minimal treatment to make sure the essence of the various soils are expressed in all of his wines.
The village appellation is a more general type of wine. Some of them have soils with more clay or more stones. The Premier Cru, on the other hand, comes from a certain soil type. It will have a definite character with a more harmonious mixture of clay and pebbles. With Grand Cru, you're able to discern more of its specific qualities. The grapes often sit at mid-slope, ideal conditions to express such precision and complexity.
Restaurant owners like Marshall showcase the fruits of their labor, a kind of tribute to winemakers.
You can't forget that wine is the result of the work of the winemaker. You can say that you really like the Meursault or the Gevrey, but the most important factor is who developed the wine. With our work, we're the bridge between the grower and the consumer up to the moment when the wine is served at the table. We don't place a product, we serve a wine.
Burgundy winemakers continue to refine a centuries-old craft with pride and respect for the terroir of the Gold Coast.
Burgundy is not only the Grand Cru. There are loads of village appellation wines. Obviously, you don't have to drink Grand Cru to be passionate about wine. We absolutely must allow people to discover these great terroirs, these places which produce some of the best wines in the world.
Clearly, we're ambassadors of French heritage. We play a role, we're part of it. We're part of the whole package.
On est dans la boîte.